Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today we are going to look at Four Roses Small Batch. And we're going to talk about the excitement that is growing here as we are 3 months and some change, as it is Memorial Day weekend, until elk season. So, let's go ahead and get into our Four Roses Small Batch, produced by Four Roses Distillery, aged at least 4 years, because it is a straight bourbon. Yeah, it's an NAS whiskey, I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah, it appears to be an NAS whiskey, which means non-age statement whiskey. Yeah. So, in order to be an NAS, it has to be at least 4 years old. To be a straight bourbon, it has to be 2 years old. So, it is safe to assume this is at least 4 years old. Small batch is just a marketing term that they've thrown on there. It doesn't really mean anything, because for for Four Roses, small batch could mean, I don't know, 500,000 bottles or something like that. Whereas with a craft distiller, typically small batch, it might have a little more meaning, but it's still arbitrary. Like they might do 1,000 bottles or something like that. But there's no definition, no TTB definition as to what that means, so it's really just bottle dressing. So that is on there. It is a 90 proof, 45% ABV whiskey. I picked this up for $27.09 here in Wyoming. Pretty decent price. We'll get into it here. There's no mistaking it. That is Four Roses. Very classic bourbon territory. So the two whiskeys that I tend to put next to each other are Buffalo Trace and Four Roses. They have very, very similar nose and flavor profiles, in my opinion, and they're very much on the floral, apple, pear, light fruit, honey, sometimes perfumey nose and taste profile. Most bourbon whiskeys will lean the other direction, where there's some cherry, a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel, some oak, and then corn dust. You can find a very heavy corn dust note in a lot of whiskeys. Don't get that with this one so much. There's a little bit of corn dust in here, but it's not very heavy. It's not very dominating. The floral part of this is very dominant. And the apple and the pear, you get just a hint of cherry and corn dust at the very end of the nose. But I would say this is classic Four Roses. It's just stepped up a little bit because it's a little bit higher proof than the yellow label. But side by side, they're pretty close. I wish I had a bottle of it on hand to do an A-B comparison. But to me, it is Four Roses, and it might be 10 to 15% more of the same notes. So the notes are just turned up maybe 10 to 15%. So that's the nose. Going on the taste. Buttery, rich, and smooth. Sweet forward. You get a sweet vanilla. That's the very first note you pick up. Kind of a caramel in the middle. A little hint of oak. Going into the tail end of the first part of the profile, or maybe the middle, it's very floral, appley. Kind of pick up a little bit of brown sugar in there if you try hard. Kind of moving forward. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm getting out of that. It's very, very nice, very drinkable. It's on the sweeter side of bourbons, I would say, of whiskey in general. So if you like sweeter notes, or if you're kind of new to whiskey and stuff, maybe you don't want to do the 90 proof. Maybe try and get the yellow label at 80 proof and see if those are notes that you like. But this is definitely a sweeter, easier sipping bourbon than a lot of others out there. It's not one that's really going to be challenging for people. Going in, after I nose fogged my glass, let's go for the finish on this sip. Yeah, so you kind of come off this brown sugar. You get a little hint of pepper in there, not a whole lot. So there's just just the smallest amount of black pepper spice. The finish pushes into kind of this stretched out floral, a little bit thin but faint oak in there, and some sweet undertones and a little bit of pepper alcohol bite on there. Um, but it's kind of a thin finish. It's not. It doesn't really go too many places. It doesn't hang out a lot. You can kind of feel the burn down your throat. A little bit of ethanol in there, but nothing unpleasant. Going back to the nose, there's some cherry that gets turned up on the second go round, but it's mixed in with the apple and the floral. And then let's go for another taste. So in my notes, I got on the second flavor that this cherry moves into a forward position in the profile. I'm not picking that up, but now to me on this second one, the cherry finishes it and carries all the way through from like the middle all the way to the tail end where it mixes with a black pepper. So you can see how the flavor profile changes with each sip as it airs out, as your tongue and palate become more coated and accustomed to the flavors, as you get that, what the heck do you call it? Not post-nasal, but retronasal activity. So you've got the smell in your mouth, you got the taste in your mouth, and it's kind of going up into your sinus cavity from the backside. You get a different flavor. But all of them are very, very pleasant, very, very easy drinking. So definitely go out, check this out. Four Roses, great whiskey. It's a great bourbon. It's on the sweet side. It's an easy drinker. This is a 90 proof whiskey. It's their small batch version. I got it for $27.09. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Share this video with people who you think might find it interesting or might need a little pep in their step. As always, please put in the comments below, engage with the video as much as possible. Put in the comments below what you can find this bottle for in your area, or any other comments you have, things you'd like to see, video ideas, anything like that. I'd be happy to take a look at all that. Thanks for watching. Hope you have yourselves a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.